prepare guys for the next level.
Yep. Tennis as well. Multi-sports down at IMG.
All right, moving on. Jalen Ramsey wants out of Jacksonville, and the Chiefs are reportedly the primary suitor to land the all-pro cornerback. Chiefs players have started their own recruiting, with Tyreek Hill tweeting at Jalen Ramsey, "Let's go." It's more of a subtle recruiting tactic there. Tyrann Mathieu added, "What's up, big head," to Jalen and his agent. It's a term of endearment, I'm guessing. Whether Jalen's a Jag or a Chief, he's got one thing on his mind.
All I care about is winning, man. Everybody know that. I want to win. Straight up. And I excuse my language, but everybody know that. That's who I am. That's that passion, that fire, that heart. That's what y'all love.
All right, Nick. I mean, how much better could your team possibly get? But would acquiring Jalen Ramsey make the Chiefs just a little bit closer to securing the Super Bowl?
Listen, if you were to tell me every single player in the league is available, and for the Kansas City Chiefs, who would be your first overall selection? It's Jalen Ramsey. He is the best player at his position at the single biggest position of need for the Chiefs. So it is in that regard, it's a perfect fit. Now, I don't know how Brett Veach, the GM, would make the money work because they got a lot of high-paid guys on the team already, and Patrick Mahomes is about to become the highest-paid guy in the history of football a year from now. But if they obviously know that, and they're still pursuing him, they're still going after him, so they think they can make the money work. I did find Jalen's interview there interesting, and he said some other things about, listen, I'm on the Jags now, I'm preparing for Tennessee. He said all the right things, but it made me remember his rookie year, when Jalen Ramsey, after not having a lot of experience losing, was on a bad Jags team his rookie season, and early in the year was seen crying, openly crying on the sidelines during one of their losses. And he was asked about it after the game, and he said, just flatly, "I'm just sick of the losing. I am sick of the losing." And then in year two, they were a good team. Year two, they bought a lot of defensive players in free agency. Jalen was a first-team All-Pro, was exceptional. They make it to the AFC Championship game and had a lead on the Patriots late in that game, if you remember. It all went to hell last year in year three, and year four is not off to a much better start. They haven't paid him. They're not winning. It's not a marquee franchise. I don't blame him for not wanting to be there. But for the Chiefs, the defense, to me, already is showing signs of improvement with the 6 new starters, with the new defensive coordinator. But where their biggest question mark is, do they have a single quality corner? And if you're going up against the Patriots, who all of a sudden have 3 very quality wide receivers, you're going to need some quality corners. I believe Jalen Ramsey is the best cornerback in the NFL. He profiled that out of college, his physical traits are unmatched by any other corner in the league. And so, yeah, this would be a great counter to the Patriots adding Antonio Brown, the Chiefs adding the best corner in the league.
Right. If we have all the defensive players, and this just because I've just seen the game a little bit differently, I would probably add Aaron Donald. I saw Aaron Donald give them problems in the Super Bowl. I know they have a huge, huge concern on their offensive line, because if we're trying to match this up, okay, how would he be best against New England?
Sure.
Because New England's going to be there. I wouldn't be trying to compare, well, what would I do? What do I need against Oakland? Be breathing, all right? What the Chargers are going through with all their injuries, this is the question of, will he help them against New England? And to me, I still think you need more pass rush. But if you can't get pass rush, and if you can't get it to the defensive tackle, the next way to affect a quarterback is pass coverage. Pro Football Focus, they do great examples of it, breaking down the analytics. If you can't put pressure on the quarterback, then you need to make sure that the coverage and everything affects the quarterback. Jalen is a tremendous player. I believe the best corner that we have. His dimensions, his arm length, his size, his speed, the way his ability to be able to play man-to-man, his ability to be able to negate a superstar from going off in a game, those are things that you do need. And we know now, AB is in New England. Josh Gordon is in New England. You're definitely going to have a concern as far as pass coverage, but I don't know if they have the cap space, given the amount of money they just spent on Tyreek, what they have coming up into the future. So to me, it's a long shot. But where doesn't he fit? All right, he fits anywhere. If you want to play defense, he fits. He is the prototype. There is no kid in college that looks like him. There's no kid out, but he is the prototype right now. If there was one guy you told me that it was 1st and goal or 3rd down, and I personally was going against him, I'd be like, okay, remove Jalen. I'll take my chances with the rest. Pat Peterson, he's right there close. He's not playing right now, but coming into the season, those two I would have ranked as the best 2 corners we have in the game.
You said something interesting. There's no place he doesn't fit. He obviously feels right now he doesn't fit in Jacksonville. The question for Jalen that I was reading some people speculate about is, could he be something of a disruptive force on a Chiefs team that has so many good things going for them right now? How do you think Andy Reid would deal with Jalen Ramsey if they were to acquire him?
Right. The biggest problem is that Jalen, Tom Coughlin, and Doug Marrone, they don't have the same type of blood type. Now, Jalen's into winning. There is a handful of guys that are the elite of the elite. In losing, man, they are not good losers. I was never a good loser. Man, I used to come to the family room. We typically, after the game, all the family is in one room where they've watched in the stands, but they come back where they have refreshments, and all your relatives are in one spot. And my former wife, she knew, man, if we lost that game, I better have those kids ready because this dude is going to act a fool. And I wouldn't embarrass her, but I wasn't interested in meeting your family. I wasn't interested in meeting someone that you went to school with, your auntie, all that. No, I had lost the game, and my whole week's work was a negative. I was not productive. And I used to go to my car, and I ain't ashamed, and cry like I was in Little League. In Little League, I was worse. High school, I was awful. In college, they just thought I was crazy. And even when they start getting paid for money, it didn't change me. And there are guys out there that they do not want to lose at this game. They're that competitive. And people say, oh, well, gain control of yourself. Well, he's a special athlete. The people at Florida State, my daughter went to Florida State when Jalen went there. I had a lot of kids I coach play ball with Jalen. The coaches there ain't had no problem with them. Jalen's only problem there was they are losing, all right? They didn't have a quarterback for a long time, didn't have an offense that would help keep up with the defense. So I could understand his frustration in Jacksonville.
So Jalen Ramsey was interviewed a couple weeks ago, and they said, well, what's the biggest gripe? Why are you unhappy? And he said, I don't like the way they're using me. I want to play more man. They want me to play more zone. How much of it is that? I mean, Spags likes to play more zone. And how much of it is I just don't get along? They're not paying me. I'm unhappy, and we're losing.
It's all those things. If you're a coaching staff, you are supposed to listen to your players, and you should try to create something compared to, you know something, this is my system. Well, sometimes you get players that are outside the system. Jalen is a 1%er, all right? Of the 24,000 people that ever played this game, he's a 1%er. He don't need no system. He's been all-pro playing off in zone. Oh, how good is he? He has been unbelievable playing on the line of scrimmage in bump and run. He knows his skill set. They should be playing. He's so rare. It's idiotic not to play to his strength. So he should be disappointed in what they're doing.
And there has been some very vocal, very prominent former players going on television and radio coming out and criticizing Jalen and other guys for demanding trades and saying that it's becoming too much like the NBA. What I would say to that is this. The Jacksonville Jaguars' #1 prerogative this year was to win games. Other than that, their #1 goal as an organization should have been to make sure the best player on your team, who you drafted, who is not even into the prime of his career yet, is happy to be a Jaguar, that he wants to be a Jaguar. And if you can't, listen, you can't manufacture the wins. What you could have done is paid him and let him play the style he wants to play.
That would have kept the flame down.
If you pay him and, okay, listen, this is our scheme, but we'll make some special adjustments for you, then maybe 0-2 isn't having him demand a trade. So maybe it's not their fault they're 0-2. Nick Foles got his collarbone broke, had tough schedule in the first couple weeks of the year, Chiefs and Texans. Right, all those things.
I just wish a lot of us would just swallow our pride and watch what they do in New England. People just get so tired of it. Bill Belichick changed this week. He went out and got AB. That's a change for him. If he is able to get AB to straighten up, to play the way he wants him to play and get another Super Bowl, that would be 7 Super Bowls. But he would also have, I dealt with Randy Moss, I dealt with Corey Dillon, I dealt with AB. Those are like Super Bowl trophies in themselves. So not only 7, if you're in the business of coaching, you're in the business of teaching kids. We get our kids all from the same spots. We're not going anywhere. We're not going international getting our kids. We're going to the same cities to the same schools, same high school programs, getting these kids. These coaches, they need to coach them up. And that's what Belichick does, and we can all take a lesson from that.
And we should mention Jalen Ramsey did say he would play this weekend if there is, or was it Monday?
Thursday
night. That's right. I knew it wasn't Sunday. All right, take a break. Coming